Alright, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, welcome back to Grey Wolf Towers. I'm Brian, and well, I had promised that I'd show you the next step in my daughter's build, so here it is. This is a MSI brand B350 chipset Tomahawk Arctic Edition. It is a very beautiful board. I'll show a picture of it so you can see an actual image of it with the CPU that's currently installed on it. This is using a Ryzen 5 1600 with stock cooler currently, and I'll be swapping it out with a Ryzen 5 2400G, not because I'm wanting more power, but because I'm wanting to keep it equal with my other daughter's computer. So her using a 2400G, I wanted to keep my two daughters, on the same playing field so that they're not, saying one's better than the other because of performance or anything like that. They'll be pretty close to identical. The main difference will be in the RAM. I'm going to show you in another video how to insert RAM. However, it will not be the RAM that will stay in this machine. I'm still waiting on that. It's in the mail. It's on its way. So anyway, let's get started. This is the motherboard. The CPU sits here. Now for this, we're going to take off the fan, and that's just a quick little plug. And then it's got 4 screws to it for this particular style. So we're going to use a screwdriver here, just a regular Phillips head screwdriver. And we're going to loosen, and we're going to do it in a star pattern, kind of like you do on tires of a car. And that way it relieves pressure without crushing anything underneath. So now the AMD motherboards, the B320s, as far as I'm aware, still do it. The B450s, the B350s, as far as I'm aware, they all do it, and that's how easy it is to pull that off. You just pop right off. All of them that I'm aware of do it where the back plate comes with these little mounts going across it, and the mounts that come on it, you just take off with 2 little screws each mount piece. You take them off, you put them aside, and then you put on the Ryzen coolers. The reason for those brackets is to hold the coolers for the other CPUs from the Athlon series. Those coolers connect onto it with clasps on the side instead of screws coming down. But you remove those pieces and leave the backplate in place, and this screws right on top. You don't need any adapters or any additional pieces or anything like that. So because this has been used already, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to clean it up. And to do that, we're just going to use some rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips. Now, this process is pretty simple overall. You just gotta take your time and gently scrub at it with some rubbing alcohol and Q-tips. And I have to admit that these Ryzen coolers are actually pretty good for what they are. So for stock coolers, they're pretty decent. So it's a nice thing that they give them out. And then we're going to clean up the CPU. Now the paste that's on there right now is just the stock thermal paste, so it's a bit on the yucky side as far as factor, but as far as performance, from what I've seen, they actually seem to do pretty good. So I don't have any complaints on any of my machines from the stock coolers or the thermal paste that comes with them. And we're almost done now. I'm taking extra Q-tips to do this because I just want to get it done and out of the way, but I want to be gentle not to scratch anything. You can do it with a paper towel or something along those lines that's not going to leave any fiber residues and things like that. If you want to do it a little bit quicker, you can do that method. And I've done that on some of my videos, and I've done it on some of my computers. This is just to show you an extra delicate approach to doing this. Alright, so now that we've got this cleaned up, this CPU will be transplanted into my test bench system since my X99 purchase failed. It's a long story. I was going to switch to an X99 chipset system for my test bench because it would run a little bit overall a little bit better, but for whatever reason it does not seem to be meant to be. So to get out a CPU after taking off the cooler, all you do is you just pull the little lever out, pull it up like so until it clicks. From the sides you pull up, just make sure you pull straight up. You don't want to pull it at a slant because you'll bend the pins. And so this here is the Ryzen 5 1600 CPU. And so for this, I'm going to set it down for just a quick moment because I have the 2400G. So now for the 2400G, I'm just going to swap places with it real quick. And like I said, this is just going to go into my test bench system that I have in my office here in my studio. And that way it will be what tests my graphics cards. I don't use it for gaming or anything like that. So now, the 2400G CPU, we just need to find the little triangle, match the triangle, put it into place. There we go. You'll hear the little click when it's down, and then all you do is you push the lever back in, and voila. The CPU is now installed, and the next step will be the cooler. Thermal paste, left it over there. So the thermal paste, again, as I've stated in other videos, you just need a dab. It's about the size of a pea is what's usually recommended. So I'm just going to put a little bit there. Made it look kind of like an ice cream cone there. And I've got a picture that I can insert of the process on another motherboard that I recently did. And I've got a picture of this process on another motherboard where I put a little bit bigger of a dab on that one. And it'll work. A little bit more is not a bad thing as long as you don't put a whole lot. You don't want it to come off the sides and start gooing all over stuff because then it might get onto other parts and start shorting things out. So now that we've got that in place, all we got to do now is go ahead and put this back in. I'm just trying to decide which way is going to look best. See, I can do it this way, or I can do it this way. Tough choices, huh? I think I'm going to go this way because it's how I tend to do it. We just want to line these screws up. Take our screwdriver. We're just going to get the screws into place to begin with. Alright, so now that we've got them all in place, they're not going to move around or anything, we can go ahead and tighten these up. And it takes just a moment. You just want to be sure not to over tighten, because then you can crush stuff. Just until it stops moving. That's it. See how easy that is? And just do it on all 4 of the screws, like so. There we go. So now the cooler is installed. All that's left now is the power cable for the fan, which we're going to go ahead and we're going to plug up like that. There we are. That is the entire process of both removing a CPU and installing a CPU. So it's a 2-in-1 video. There you go. So now the next step that I'm going to do is I'm going to do a video that's going to quickly be to insert the RAM. And I'm going to split these up so that time's not taken up on the build. Overall, it'll split it across several videos, and that way you guys don't have to watch me as much in one sitting. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you guys had a great time and enjoyed it. Please leave comments down below, like and subscribe to my videos. I love to see new subscribers coming in, and I definitely love to see comments. It makes me feel really good when people leave comments, whether it's a question or whether it's just, hey, thanks, I appreciate you doing this, or even if it's, hey, you did something wrong, this is how it should have been done. I just really like comments. It makes me feel better. So if you could just give me a hello, or so yeah, just leave me a comment that's not harsh, and I'm happy to take it. Criticism or praise, it doesn't matter to me, as long as it's in a positive manner and not a negative one. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you next time. Thanks for watching Grey Wolf Towers.